Hey guys, Ruby Danger here. I'm going to do a little beginner's guide to tempo mapping based on the method that I learned by reading DoNotPassGo thread on the subject. I don't know if he started it or if it's his creation, but I think it's great. It's helped me tempo map tremendously. Thank you, JKSRB, for turning me onto it. Anyway, here we go. Let's start with a basic rock band template. Once you get going and learn how to do this better, you can create your own templates. I have a template that I've created that has all my start points, pitch, all that. I can just jump right in. Right now, beginner template. First thing I like to do before I even get started is to go to measure 1100 and create a marker. You do that by pushing M. It creates one right there. Little benefits of that. Instead of hitting home, you could be anywhere out here, push 1, it'll always take you back to the beginning of the song. But it also has other benefits you'll learn in this method later. But just to get that out of the way. All right, so we need to create an action list, or an action macro, pardon. You only have to do this the first time, you don't have to do this every time you do it. You want to create a custom macro. I named my marker tempo. To create a custom macro, you push New, then you find the commands you want here on the left and drag them to the right here. Put them in order you want, hit OK, and you're going to come down here and you're going to give it a hotkey shortcut. Now this is a command you're going to use a lot, so use an easy to get to hotkey. You don't want Control Shift Alt Y, things like that. Nice, simple, easy to get to hotkey. Here is the command list you want. You can come over here to filters, you can make it easier to find them, type in something, it'll take them out. Drag these 6 commands in this order, save this macro, assign it a hotkey. While you're here, I also recommend you go to the markers, go down to remove all markers from time selection and give this a hotkey as well. Whatever hotkey you want, but you're going to use this at the end. Alright, so when you're done with that, let's come back to our project and let's add a song. So let's first make sure we're at home. You can do 1 or home. And we're going to find our song. We're going to do missing persons words. And you're just going to drag this onto the audio. Alright, now let's make this a little opened up. Let's open this up a little bit. Now you know that at Rock Band we like to start songs on the 3-1 beat to allow for the intro, allow for the count in, all that. But we need to set a basic BPM first. Odds are our song's not 120. If it is, you got lucky as can be. So the easiest way to find a BPM for songs, just Google it. I use Ultimate Tabs. What are we doing? Words. And roughly the BPM for words is 136. Right there. So we're just going to use that as a rough start. Come up here, change this to 136. So that our count in that we set follows the same tempo and the player knows what he's in for. Alright, so now we need to take off the snap grid so we can move this freely. Snap grid moves it in measures. And if we start the synth at the 3-1 roughly, our first kick beat, little out, first downbeat. So I'm actually going to put our first downbeat at roughly 5-1. Doesn't have to be perfect here yet. Which back at 3-1 means our synth starts a little early. That's okay. We can change it to a 3-bar count in, start the synth a little early. As long as our first downbeat is on 5-1, which will be a downbeat. That's fine. Alright, so now we need to implement DoNotPassGo's method. I'm going to open this up just a little more so we can see quarters. Alright, so normal tempo mapping, most songs, not all songs, most songs are done in a 4/4 time signature. So tempo mapping will go from 1-1 to 2-1, 2-1 to 3-1, 3-1 to 4-1. Those are the beats. Well, if we change our time signature to 1/4, then every old quarter beat is now a full beat, and we can literally manipulate each one, which comes really handy in editing tempo maps later and it makes it a lot easier to do here. Now, a good practice I like to get into is I like to snap to grid and do my first 5 measures, 5 beats, sorry, at the 1/4 basic BPM. So okay, now the first one you do is going to ask you the time signature. So we're going to change that to 1/4. Now for the rest of the song, it knows it's a 1/4. You won't have to do that again. So we're going to go to 3/1. We're going to snap it. Go, hotkey, and hotkey. This comes in beneficial later if you need to adjust your time signature, want to adjust a tempo here or there, a BPM. All right, so now let's head back over here. Let's take off our snap. And we want to go to our first kick drum. If you want to make that bigger, feel free. You're going to get right in front of it. You're going to mark it right there. And from there, you're going to go ahead and hit your hotkey again. And what this is going to do, it's going to create a marker named 6. It's going to go back to 5. Set the BPM. So now everything from 5 to 6. Let's make that a little easier to see. 5 to 6 has a 135, 591 to make sure our kick drum starts at the exact moment. Move that marker over. I'm not sure why that got misplaced, but we'll fix that. All right. Now we need to render a file so we can create a drum track. You can do your tempo map from here. I just find creating a drum track much easier. Doesn't take much extra time at all. So we're just going to come over here. We're going to save our project. We'll put it here. And we'll render. I use 16-bit, missing persons, done. Usually want this to be at 0.00 for in-game volume. To adjust the volume, you just come over here. I'm going to change it to 0.09. It wasn't off by much. Let's see what happens. And we're at 0, 0. All right, so that'll help our in-game volume for normalization. So we'll close that. We can minimize Reaper a minute. Go to our rendered file. There it is right there. And we'll split it. We'll split it. All right, so we need a drum track. So we need to go to 4. We drag him in there. Let him do its thing. Takes about 30 seconds. I'll pause the video, pick it up when it's done. Okay, it's done. We have our 4 tracks. Guitar, bass, drums, and vocals. Let's go to where I saved them. Missing persons. And let's take our drum track and put it in our working folder. All right, so now we need to bring our drum track into Reaper. Go home by pushing 1 or home. Go to an empty spot down here and drag your drum track into it. I like to put my drum track right below the audio track. Makes it easier to make sure it's lined up and everything. Let's open it up a bit. Let's compare the two, make sure they're good. Looks good. Now we can mute our audio track and work solely off our drum track. Now we need to take off our snap and we need to start marking BPM. So go to the beginning of a hit, hit your hotkey, and move on. You're going to do this for the whole song. Now, the really cool part about this method is if you got a spot you're not real sure about, you can go to the next one, mark it. You don't need to worry about the 4 measures, the quarter measures, and it should adjust everything inside. I wouldn't go too far out in case there's a big change. Like if you're not sure about these 3, but this one looks easier, you can mark him. The BPM in between him and him will fix itself. So you're going to go through, you're going to mark the entire song. Now, if you get to a spot where you have to mark an individual one, you can. Let's do that. So here, let's say I wanted to put that one there. Okay. I can do them individually if I want. I can go do it by twos. And do it however I want to. Make sure they all line up. Anytime I want to hear and check it out, metronome is your best friend. So you click on metronome. You can see you want your metronome to blend in with the beat. Basically don't want to hear your metronome. If you don't hear it at all, you did it perfectly. Alright, so once we have the whole song done, you're going to see a bunch of markers that get in your way and are annoying as hell. To do that, just hit up here in the time area, left click, drag, highlight the whole area. I like to keep marker 1, and then hit F6 is my hotkey, whatever hotkey you did to remove markers. So now your markers are gone, but your time signatures are still there. So you basically now have tempo mapped a full song, but we're in 1/4 right now. So we need to go back home, hit 1, double click on our time signature, uncheck the set, it'll default back to the 4/4. When we do that, the whole song adjusts, leaving our markers, our BPMs, time signatures. Now our song starts at 5/1, runs a 4/4, all the way to the end. Create your chart, have fun, can't wait to see them in the database.